I'm Simonsen. I'm a whole food plant-based culinary coach. I work with a lifestyle medical practice. I have for 6 years, and I have been whole food plant-based this fall for 6 years. And I reversed, rheumatoid arthritis, as well as prediabetes, as well as high cholesterol. I'm 73. I believe better than I ever have, and I was able to overcome with the help of a whole food plant-based diet. And you'll have to look further into all of that in my book, Aging Powerfully, which I wrote to celebrate turning 70, claiming I've got another 1, 2, 3 decades ahead of me with this kind of a lifestyle. And woohoo! Today I'm making a smoothie based on the protocol, the Goodbye Lupus protocol of Dr. Brook Goldner. So while I'm showing books, this was her first book. She cured herself of lupus, almost impossible. She thought, something worked here, and you'll have to, I'm not going to go into all of it. Her husband, who was a fitness and metabolism guy, helped her lose weight for their wedding with a whole food, plant-based, but raw, high nourishing protocol. And she was ripped for her wedding a few months later, but all of a sudden she had no symptoms of lupus before she knew it. Everything had reversed. So they tried people on that. They found that people were healing, not just from lupus, but lots of things. I don't have lupus, but anything that can be fixed with cellular and nutritional health, this protocol will do. And so I got her book. She wrote it, I believe, in 2017, Goodbye Lupus, in spite of the fact I didn't have lupus. And this was how I was making smoothies years and years ago. And then I sort of morphed into this and morphed into that. Still good things, including basically my berries and oatmeal breakfast. Well, something happened recently. I was at Rancho La Puerta with Chef AJ, celebrating her, skills in teaching people to go whole food plant-based. Dr. Goldhammer was there, the founder of True North Fasting Center. And I told him that in all these years, I've had her for all these years, and actually it was tested at his center 6 years ago, and I spent 10 days there just learning how to go whole food plant-based. I didn't fast. They tested something called a SED rate. Mine was really high, and it's been high since then, even though everything else in terms of bodily health has been fine. High SED rate. Then I also was tested with RA antibodies, that's rheumatoid arthritis. I hurt everywhere. I could barely walk across the room at night to go to the restroom. It hurt. And then I was also tested with high thyroid antibodies, and that was from Hashimoto's. That wasn't diagnosed by the name, but I was told decades ago that I needed to go on thyroid medicine. Anyway, everything is great physically, but I still have these antibodies. He didn't like it. He said, we have had great results with reversing that with fasting. And I thought, maybe I'll go fasting. And then I was reminded, just by happenstance, of Dr. Goldner's protocol. And I thought, why don't I try being at home with her protocol, see what we can do with her protocol. I can always fast later because it's not workable right now for me to leave for a week or two. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. And it's been 8 days now. I feel fantastic. It's basically what she calls high raw nourishment. So all of that chatting, I'm so sorry for those of you on Instagram and you can't stand anything that takes that long. Sorry. But I wanted to tell you the background of what I'm doing. I want now for all of that to go away. I want to see if I can stop this low flame in the background of my body, because there's too much cancer in my family. My mother and brother, both at 50, were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. There's heart disease. There's too many other cancers. And so that low flame is a problem. I just have been ignoring it while I felt well, knowing whole food plant-based did that. So I'm going to go a step further, and that is with this high raw protocol to bring about the reversal of that. And Dr. Goldner did that with her lupus, and she's done that with thousands of people, reversing all kinds of very inflammatory conditions. And I'll keep you posted. In the meantime, here's my blender. This is how I nourish in the morning, off and on throughout the day, and then add big salads to that. So I'm going to blend it, but you're not going to watch the entire blending process because it's way too noisy. Her protocol calls for 3/4 of the smoothie to be packed down green vegetables, preferably the cruciferous vegetables like kale, like arugula, like collard greens, chard, beet greens. I'm not crazy about those last two flavors, so I keep it to 2 highly nourishing greens, which she very much recommends, and that is spinach, which is not a cruciferous, but it's one of the highest in terms of nutrition per caloric count greens there is. And I simply put an entire bag, this happens to be a 6-ounce bag, in my blender. And then I push it down. Now I am copying what I saw her do, because then I did a deep dive, and you're gonna think, man, you really go into things, don't you? Since thinking about this 2.5 weeks ago, and again, this is day 8, so I did a lot of rumination. I studied her, and I still am, watching her free programs, her free videos. I've watched 40 hours of her conversations with her Q&A and her training classes, and I copied twice what I saw her do twice, and this is what I'm doing. So 6 ounces of spinach. In my case, in her case, it could have been anything, but I'm pretty sure she used spinach. The other 6 ounces, in other words, I'm doing 12 ounces, and this was half of a 10-ounce bag, so I guess that would have been half of that would have been 5 ounces. So it's 11 ounces. Pack it down like crazy. And then I'm going to, as she says, 3/4 greens, and then 1/4 fruit. She has said that the strongest healing power is in the greens, and the fruit is simply, even though fruit has a lot of value, it is not restorative at that cellular level the way the greens are. But without the fruit, a lot of people wouldn't enjoy it, and I'm one of them. So I have my frozen berries. This is just a combination of berries. This is about 4 ounces. Let me grab something. Okay, sorry. And that's raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries that I get from, I think, Costco. And then I have frozen pineapple and frozen mango. And that was, what was that, about 5 ounces each. Then I have a banana and a half. It fell into the sink here on my island, so I'm gonna pluck it out and I'm gonna put it in there. You're going, ew, well, this is a sink on an island that's usually not used. And so it's not nasty. I have an entire lime that I took some of the green off of, but left some of the green and the zest. I have an entire chunk of ginger. I just like that flavor. And I'm now adding, Oh, I'll also add I have a container that I mix. I even write it on here, turmeric, black pepper, because turmeric is effective, hundreds of times more effective with black pepper, cinnamon and cardamom. And it's tablespoons, probably 4 tablespoons of the turmeric and maybe a teaspoon of the black pepper, and then a little bit of cardamom, a little bit of cinnamon, and actually even a little bit of ginger. Okay, so I'm putting that in there because I like turmeric in everything. Then I'm putting in either flax or chia or both. The 2 seeds that she recommends for high omega-3s. There's a 3-part protocol going here, and you can investigate this again for free. You'll hear it better yet. If you have something that you want to ameliorate health-wise, consider her program and start with her books. Goodbye Lupus, and then, where's the other one? Goodbye Autoimmune. This one takes in the rest of healing besides the mechanical part, like the smoothie and eating the food. That takes in the emotional part, and she walks you through emotional healing. And the 2 seeds that are highest in omega-3s, and the 3-part protocol is water. They recommend at least 96 ounces. Now, all of this is dependent on a person's starting health. Some people, it can't take that much, but in other words, it depends on, it's part of it is water, part of it is this nutrition, which if you don't have a blender, you could chew. When she began this program, when she healed from it, they didn't even think blender. They were just doing high raw nutrition, and she ate all of this. This would really wear out a lot of people, especially because for lunch, I'm gonna have a giant salad. For dinner, I'll have more salad and greens and things, and the rest of my smoothie, or maybe not, because if I cut way back on the liquids later in the day, I use the restroom less at night. So I have both of them. I have flax, I have chia, whole, not ground already, because if you have a high-speed blender, it will be blended in here, otherwise blend it just before you use it. I grow my own sprouts. I'm doing a whole sprouting thing now. And I'm gonna put in a handful of my beautiful sprouts. And everything in this is to flood our cells with healing phytonutrients, phytochemicals, polyphenols, the things that our cells will take up and heal with. Well, this entire diet is that. And then we use enough water. You could use plant milk. I'm just using water to get to about 3/4, or well, up to the greens, about 40 ounces she recommends. I quite often go a little more than that because I like a slightly wetter smoothie. I'm gonna blend this. I'll stop it part way through just to kind of show you what it looks like. And then when it's finished, I will, I can't wait to eat because I got up early. I took my bike ride. There are fires in our area here in Southern California. We have 2 weeks back to back with temperatures of over 100 degrees. Today's supposed to be 108. Yesterday was 113. And there are fires and there's smoke in the air. I rode my bike with a is that K99, 95, whatever, the mask that keeps particulates out. And I just came back and I'm hungry, so I can't wait to have this. And that's, no, I don't wear earrings. That was and I don't have flip-flops on when I ride. I just dressed up for you a tiny bit. All right, so this blender is so heavy duty. It will take care of all of this. So I'm gonna do that out of earshot of you. Actually, this is all you need to see. And then I'll finish it. If I didn't use the berries in here, this would be a really pretty green. I also sometimes throw in a carrot, a part of a raw beet, a nice chunk of raw beet. You can put whatever you want in it, but that's what I'm doing for now. And again, it can be a brighter green, but I like the berries. And so I will be back to you. Let me look for my device. I'll be back to you and show you my final smoothie. Can't wait to start drinking it. Bye-bye. Come on. Oh. All right, I'm back. So I blended this for 2 minutes. Both of the videos that I watched where she did this, basically this smoothie, she recommended 2 minutes. Part of that is because she wants those flax and chia to be blended very well. The flaxseed, the chia, some people say, oh, you'll get the benefit of chia just because it swells and it's more bioavailable when it's in moisture. She and a number of people believe, and this is what I'm trusting, that the chia is better when it's ground, but flax for sure. You eat whole flax and it's having a nice ride all the way out because we're not going to be able to break it down. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. And I ground it, I blended it, 30 minutes. If I've had the beet, I had a beet in it yesterday and it was brown. I mean, no, that's not pretty, but I don't care. It's not what I'm eating it for. Okay. This is what I'm looking at. That actually looks really good, doesn't it? That is so yummy. Now, after 2 minutes, this Vitamix, you may know that, will actually heat a soup. You can make a raw vegetable soup in a Vitamix. You leave it on 5 minutes. It would burn out most blenders, but 4 or 5 minutes, and you can get a warm soup. I want this colder. I used frozen fruit, but I'd still like it colder. So a lot of times I'll put ice in my carafe, and then I put the rest of this in the refrigerator and I have it throughout the day. Some people say, but if I have this, let me back up. Some people are not used to fiber. All I eat is fiber. I'm whole food plant-based and I'm dedicated to that. So I eat food as close to grown as possible. So with no meat, cheese, egg, butter, cream, yogurt, no animal product, everything I eat, a plant, is fiber. So I'm way up there in fiber, and yet still I bloated. I mean, by the end of the day, I looked ridiculous. At first, when I used this much chia and flax, I was used to 3 tablespoons in my oatmeal. This is, okay, a half a cup, so quarter cup. So that's 8 tablespoons, 16 tablespoons in a cup, and it's a half a cup. That can blow you up. Now, this is day 8. Yesterday, for the first time, I didn't have that. And I thought, ooh, I'm getting somewhere. And she says you will. Even with my high fiber diet, I was affected. So you can take it much lower. I am not even beginning to teach you this, either the book or her free programs. I'll put a link in the description so that you can go to her on YouTube and then find her everywhere else. She does Instagram, so those quick little bits. She does YouTube, she does Facebook, she has a Facebook group. She will offer everything you need for free, and she has a program. So far, I'm using free because the program that's coming up in October coincides with a holiday I have. Otherwise, I would be in her program, even though by then I may have seen my markers go down. That's what I'm hoping for. I want to say I've mentioned goodbye Autoimmune, goodbye Lupus. Her husband, Thomas Padlock, is the one basically that started her healing protocol, because he teaches people with his graduate degree in nutrition how to hyper-nourish. Well, he hyper-nourished her into a lower weight for their wedding because she insisted, and he teaches people strength training, and she's very much about exercise and strength training. but he also came up with what that looked like, that protocol of water, the omega-3 fatty acids, because they are all healing. Get down on the 6 omega-6s because they're inflammatory and people are way out of balance. And let's see, it's the water, the omega-6s, and the high raw nutrition for as long as it takes to reverse. And you will hear when you listen to her that some people are reversing diseases in, well, some in weeks, some in months. It's worth considering. And then finally, she just came out with this cookbook, Goodbye Lupus, Hello Delicious. And I'm making my salads out of this. I'm still not doing the recipes for the smoothies because I like this combination, but you can do chocolate smoothies. You can do all kinds of things. I like everything that's in here. So that's another one. And then it's a good idea if you're working on this to keep a journal. That's exactly what I'm doing. Every day I'm writing in general what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, because when this is done, I will advocate for it. It will be part of what becomes my training program as a health and wellness coach. And one of the things that helped me understand what her protocol was based on was Dr. Joel Fuhrman's ANDI score, ANDI, Aggregate Nutrition or Nutrient Density Index. And kale, the first thing that we put in here, is the #1 most nutritious food in this index, basically, for our body. And second down is spinach. The third down is spinach. The second is bok choy. Oh, I'm not sure I'd like bok choy in this, but I'm eating a lot of bok choy in my salads. That's all I'm going to say, because I could go on and you're probably thinking, stop now, Nan. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Consider Dr. Goldner if you're having issues. This is real healing. She's on every Wednesday for an hour with people who write her. She puts up what they write. There's nothing made up here. And person after person after person will come back and say, thank you, I healed from this, that, and the other. They ask questions, she answers them. You can get all of this for free and reverse things that people think are basically gonna kill them. Here's to Dr. Goldner. Have a great day. I know I'm going to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and consider my book, Aging Powerfully. Bye-bye.